Tonight, you're going to ask the universe for what you want, but not with begging, not with strain, and not with anxious timelines. You'll ask in the only language the universe cannot ignore, the language of state. Your thoughts may wander all day. Your words may be inconsistent. The state you fall asleep in whispers to creation like a command. That is your golden hour. That is your steering wheel. The truth few people are taught: the universe does not deliver what you hope, for it mirrors who you are being. Before sleep, inside. What you desire outside. If you want wealth, become the one who already pays with ease. If you want love, become the one already cherished. Healing, become the one already vibrant. You are not chasing, you are choosing. You are not pleading, you are receiving. Responds to your state, not your words. Feel it real before sleep. This idea is simple yet powerful. What you carry into sleep becomes the blueprint for what life reflects back to you. Most people think asking the universe is about pleading, repeating affirmations, or endlessly declaring desires. But the universe is not listening to the noise of your words, listening to the vibration of your being. Being in the final moments before you drift into unconsciousness is what imprints deepest into your subconscious, and from there, reality begins to shape itself. Imagine the day as a stage where you rehearse many roles, sometimes confident, sometimes doubtful, sometimes hopeful, afraid. But when night comes and you lie down, the curtain falls on all the day's performances. In that quiet darkness, your mind softens. The filters weaken. The critical voice quiets. You are no longer acting, you are becoming. And in that state, what you feel most real settles like a seed into the soil of creation. If you feel lack, the universe reflects lack. If you feel fullness, reflects fullness. The law is exact, not emotional. It does not pity or punish. It mirrors. Think about how you drift off on most nights. For many, with the heaviness of regret, anxiety about tomorrow, or replaying the conflicts of the day. Without realizing it, asleep, embodying the state of worry, shortage, and defeat. Night after night, the subconscious accepts this as their truth, bends accordingly. But shift this ritual, even slightly, and everything. Change. Instead of asking from emptiness, ask by becoming. Saying, I want, dare to say with your heart, I am. Instead of lying down with need, lie down with fulfillment. Real before sleep is to treat your imagination as reality itself. It means entering the scene of your desire as if it has already unfolded. You are not wishing for it. You are remembering it. This difference is everything. A wish declares distance. A memory declares completion. Feel it real. Your heart beats as if it is done. Your breath calms as if the problem is solved. Your mind relaxes as if the weight has lifted. State the universe responds to. It's important to understand the universe is not persuaded by repetition or ritual. You could speak affirmations all night long, but if deep inside you still feel lack, you are asking from emptiness, and emptiness will echo back. Means harmonizing your inner state with your desired reality. Maybe few, sometimes just a whispered, thank you, but the feeling carries the authority of a decree. So, how do you do this? Strain. You don't force, you don't demand. You surrender into the soft edge of sleep with an inner smile you longed for is already here. You rehearse that one scene not as a dream, but as a fact. And as your body grows heavier and your breath slows, you let go of effort and allow the feeling to hold you until sleep claims you. In that surrender, your state is sealed. And when morning comes, notice fireworks or instant change. But you'll carry a subtle shift. The way you walk, the tone of your voice, the openness of your spirit will respond differently. Opportunities will drift into your path. You will seem to attract rather than chase. All of this began not with words, begging, but with the state you dared to embody before sleep. That is how the universe answers. Not to your cry, but to your condition. The drowsy edge of sleep is the doorway where impressions become reality. Most people underestimate that brief, fragile space between waking and sleeping holds the key to reshaping your life. When you are fully awake, the mind is guarded, critical, analyzing, filtering everything that enters. When you drift towards sleep, those walls lower. The conscious mind becomes quieter, and the subconscious, vast, receptive, and creative, opens its door. This state, what you impress upon yourself, is absorbed without resistance. It does not argue. It does not question. It simply accepts and begins to weave it into your experience. Think of it like a garden. In daylight, you can scatter seeds on hard, baked ground and wonder why nothing grows. But in the twilight, the soil is softer, moist, and ready to receive. Twilight in your mind, the drowsy state just before sleep, is when the soil of your subconscious is most fertile. What you plant there will take root. That's why it matters so much what you carry into that moment. Many people unknowingly plant weeds. They replay arguments, nurse disappointments, rehearse fears of tomorrow, and then they wonder why those same struggles keep appearing in their lives. The truth is simple. Life mirrors the seeds planted at the doorway of sleep. If you understand this, you begin to see why asking the universe before sleep is not about begging or forcing, but about impressing. You don't have to fight for your desire. You don't have to shout it into the void. You only need to slip it gently into the subconscious. When it is most open, as a whisper in a quiet room can be louder than a scream in a storm, a single vivid thought at the edge of sleep carries more weight than hours of anxious affirmations during the day. In this state, imagination becomes power. Images you hold are no longer just fantasies. They are blueprints. Subconscious cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. If you enter sleep imagining yourself in your new home, holding the keys, seeing the walls, feeling the satisfaction in your chest, your subconscious accepts it as real. And because the subconscious governs behavior, intuition, and what you attract, life starts shifting to align with that picture. Situations, people, and opportunities bend in ways you could never predict. The inner reality always precedes the outer one. But to use this doorway wisely, you must approach it with simplicity. Clutter it with 20 different wishes. Don't strain to control every detail. Pick one scene that captures the essence of your desire already fulfilled. Keep it short and meaningful, that would naturally follow if your wish were real. Then, as you sink into that drowsy softness, repeat it in your imagination. Not an outsider, step inside it. Feel it. Let it be more than words, let it be sensation. If it's freedom, feel the lightness in your body. Feel the warmth of being embraced. If it's success, feel the deep satisfaction of achievement. As sleep pulls you in, that scene like a treasure. Don't wrestle with it, don't analyze it. Let it flow naturally until your conscious mind lets go. That last impression is the seed, and once planted, the subconscious nurtures it through the night, replaying it in ways you cannot see. By morning, has shifted, not outside yet, but inside you. And what happens inside eventually crystallizes outside. Why the drowsy edge of sleep is sacred. It is not to be wasted on fear, regret, or doubt. It is a passageway where thoughts transform into realities, transform into conditions where unseen power begins its work. If you honor this doorway, if you use it with intention, you will discover that the universe was never distant, never deaf. It was always waiting for the right moment to take your impression and make it flesh. End scene. That proves your desire is already fulfilled. This is the secret to speaking the language of the universe. Too often, think asking is about listing demands, begging, or rehearsing endless affirmations. True asking is not about words. It is about embodying a condition. The subconscious mind, which shapes reality, responds to long speeches or explanations. It responds to images, feelings, and states of being. The most effective way to ask is to imagine a single, simple scene that could only exist if your desire were already accomplished. It means to feel it real. Imagine you want a new career. Instead of picturing yourself endlessly applying for jobs or worrying about interviews, imagine the celebration after the fact. A scene where a friend shakes your hand and says, "Congratulations on your new role!" Or where you see yourself holding the offer letter, implies the wish is fulfilled. If you want healing, don't imagine the struggle or the treatment. Imagine yourself walking outside and hearing someone remark, "You look so healthy." If you long for love, don't visualize yourself waiting or hoping. Imagine the simple, nary end scene of sitting across from your partner at your favorite cafe laughing together. The beauty of the end scene is that it bypasses effort and plants the result. Why does this work? The subconscious takes what you assume as fact and begins to reorganize your life to match it. How will this happen? That is the job of the unseen intelligence. The subconscious simply says, "This is who you are now," and reality bends. By crafting a scene that is short, vivid, and emotionally real, you give the subconscious a clear instruction. Lost in details, it doesn't scatter energy. It receives a direct image of completion. The key is to keep the scene simple. People make the mistake of overcomplicating, creating long stories that are hard to maintain. The power is not in duration, but in clarity and repetition. Second loop of hearing. "I'm so proud of you," is stronger than a 10-minute fantasy full of wandering details, like a snapshot rather than a film. A photograph of you with the keys to your new home is enough. You don't need to imagine the whole moving process. The end scene must be brief enough to replay easily, vivid enough to feel, believable enough that you can inhabit it. Emotion is the fuel. Words are powerless without feeling, but a single moment infused with genuine joy, relief, or love has the strength to impress the subconscious. When you create your end scene, don't just watch it. Enter it. The weight of the keys in your hand, hear the voice of your friend, feel the texture of the handshake, taste the coffee, smell the fresh air. The more senses you engage, the more real it becomes. And as you drift to sleep with this scene alive in you, it settles deep, not as a wish, a memory of something already done. This practice also removes desperation. Begging carries the energy of not having. Wishing confirms distance. Scene implies completion. It is subtle, but it changes everything. When you rehearse the outcome, you no longer cling to the process. You no longer wonder how it will come. You simply rest in the satisfaction that it already has. That shift of state is what the universe responds to. Tonight, choose your scene carefully. Make it short. Make it powerful. Make it final. And as you sink into the drowsiness of sleep, loop it gently until it feels natural. Soon it will feel familiar. And once it feels familiar, it will feel inevitable. Asking is done, not through struggle or endless words, but through a single end scene that proves your desire is already fulfilled. That scene with rich senses and quiet gratitude then drift off. This is where the art of asking becomes effortless. You don't force, strain, you don't demand. Instead, you create an atmosphere within yourself so alive and convincing that your subconscious cannot tell the difference between imagination and memory. Is not to wish, it is to claim. You step into the reality you desire and wear it as if it were already yours. And when you do this with gratitude, signaling lack, you are signaling possession. Gratitude is the language of completion, the vibration of someone who already holds the gift. Picture the scene you crafted earlier. Now enrich it. Do not watch it from a distance. Enter it fully. Imagine a friend congratulating you on your success. Hear their tone of voice. Is it excited, warm, loving? Light in their eyes as they look at you. Feel the texture of their handshake or the hug they give. If you are imagining health, your body feels light, energized, free of heaviness. Feel the ground beneath your feet as you walk with strength. If it is love you desire, sense the warmth of your partner's hand in yours, the softness of their smile, the small but powerful reassurance of their presence. Every detail you add with your senses makes the scene more real, and reality is what the subconscious accepts. The rehearsal is not about performance, immersion. You don't need to make it complicated. The mind loves to wander when overburdened with detail. So keep the scene simple. Let your senses make it alive. The power lies in repetition, not in length. A short loop, played over and over until it feels natural, impact than a drawn-out fantasy. Think of it as playing a favorite memory. You know how it feels to replay a moment from your past. A laugh, success, a moment of joy. The subconscious doesn't care whether it's past or future, it only knows what feels real. Now add gratitude. Transforms imagination from a daydream into a decree. When you feel thankful for something, you confirm its reality. Receiving a gift, your first reaction is not to ask again for it, it is to say, thank you. That same spirit of quiet, satisfied gratitude should flow through you as you rehearse your end scene. Not loud, not forced, but gentle and deep, stream running, beneath the surface. Whisper, thank you. In your heart, not as a request, but as acknowledgement. No difference. You're not asking for something to happen, it already has. This gratitude is not directed at a distant universe, directed at the reality within you that is already formed. As you repeat the scene and feel gratitude, let your body grow heavier. Sleep begins to pull at your mind, how the edge of consciousness softens. Don't fight it. Don't cling to the image with desperation. Gently as you surrender. The scene should be the last impression you carry before sleep overtakes you. That final state, with gratitude, is like sealing an envelope. You have written your desire, signed it with feeling, and now you let it be delivered. What happens next is beyond your conscious control. During sleep, the subconscious continues to replay the impression, weaving it deeper into your identity. By morning, you wake not with a demand, but with a subtle knowing. You act, speak, and move in harmony with the person who already has what you asked for. Response to this shift. Doors open, opportunities align, people show up, all because you rehearsed a scene with senses alive and gratitude strong. This is the power of the nightly ritual. You are not merely dreaming, programming. You are not merely hoping, you are receiving. And the more naturally you rehearse, the faster it becomes a memory rather than a wish. That happens, the outer world has no choice but to catch up to the inner one. Release the how and when, asleep in the identity of the one who already has it. This is the step that most people struggle with. The human mind always wants to know the process and the timeline. It craves control. It wants to calculate every move and measure every outcome. When you ask the universe in the right way, you are not entering into a negotiation, you are stepping into trust. The universe, the unseen intelligence behind life, already knows the shortest, most natural path to bring your desire to you. Your task is not to figure it out. Task is to assume it is already done and to carry that assumption into sleep. Think of it like planting a seed. When you place a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up every morning to see if it has sprouted. You trust the soil, the water, the sunlight, and the life force within the seed itself. The question of, how will this tiny seed become a tree? You simply know that it will, because that is the law of life. In the same way, once you have impressed your desire upon your subconscious with feeling and clarity, your job is to let it go. Do not ask. Do not wonder. How will it come to me? These questions only plant doubt. And doubt is like disturbing the soil, the process. Instead, let your last conscious act before sleep be the assumption that it is already yours. Fall asleep not as someone who is waiting, who is living the answer. If you desire success, fall asleep as the person who has already achieved it. If you desire love, as the person already loved. If you desire healing, fall asleep as the one who is already whole. Your state of being is the true prayer. The identity you carry into the night is the signal you send to creation. This shift is powerful because it changes everything about how you meet the next day. Asleep as the one who already has it, you wake up aligned with that reality. You no longer act with desperation or fear. With quiet confidence, with the calmness of someone who knows. You notice opportunities you would have missed. You move differently. You speak differently. You radiate differently. Life bends to reflect the version of you that you assumed belongs to the intelligence of the universe. It can unfold through coincidences, sudden inspirations, chance encounters, or gradual shifts you never knew existed. It may not happen the way you expected, but it will happen in the way most natural to your assumption. When is also not your burden. Time is flexible to the state you hold. Some desires appear quickly, almost instantly, unfold with divine timing. Impatience, however, slows the process because it keeps you in the vibration of lack. Releasing time is just as important as releasing control. When you release the how and when you move into rest. Rest is the true sign of faith. Restless, you are not anxious. You are not constantly checking whether the desire has arrived. As you know, night will follow day and spring will follow winter. You know the reality you carried into sleep is already set in motion. Your only task is to remain in that knowing until it feels natural, until it feels like your new normal. So tonight, when you close your eyes, don't ask, how will this happen? Don't worry about, when will I see it? Instead, embody it. Become the person who already has it. Wrap yourself in the feeling of completion. Whisper your gratitude, drift into sleep with the certainty of one who already lives in the answered state. Secret. The universe does not respond to those who are waiting, it responds to those who already are. Persist nightly, revise doubts. Tomorrow as the person you're seeing implies. The practice of asking the universe before sleep is not a one-time event. It is a rhythm, a discipline, way of shaping your identity night after night. One seed planted may sprout, but a garden flourishes through consistent care. In the same way, one night of rehearsing your end scene plants the desire, but persistence waters it until it becomes natural. This persistence is not about strain or desperation. It is about returning each night to the truth of who you wish to be until it feels like your new home. Persistence is the bridge between imagination and reality. Most people give up too soon. They rehearse their scene for a few nights. Doubt takes over when nothing seems to change immediately. But doubt is not a signal to stop, it is a signal to persist. The old state is still strong, and like any habit, it takes repetition to weaken it. Each night you choose to assume the fulfilled state, you chip away at the old identity and strengthen the new one. Eventually, the subconscious accepts the new story as fact, and when it does, reality has no choice but to follow. But what happens when doubt sneaks in during the day? That is where revision becomes powerful. Means you go back in imagination and change the script of what happened or what you feared. If you had a conversation where someone discouraged you, replay it in bitterness. Instead, at night, you revise it. Imagine them saying the words you long to hear. Imagine the situation turning in your favor. By doing this, you remove the poison of doubt and replace it with the medicine of faith. Subconscious does not cling to the old version if you supply it with a new one. Revision is not lying to yourself, teaching your deeper mind what reality you wish to reinforce. As you persist and revise, the step is to live tomorrow as the person your scene implies. This doesn't mean faking or forcing. It means aligning your daily choices with the identity you assumed at night. If you fell asleep in the state of wealth, tomorrow not as someone desperate for money, but as someone secure and generous. If you fell asleep in the state of health, live tomorrow as someone who respects their body, nourishes it, and moves with energy. If you fell asleep in the state of love, tomorrow with openness and kindness as someone who is already cherished. By living in harmony with your nightly assumption, a bridge between the inner and the outer world. This consistency creates momentum. Each night you reinforce the inner picture. Each morning you express it outwardly. Together, these cycles create alignment so strong that the universe has no resistance in bringing your desire to you. Life begins to mirror your inner state with uncanny precision. Chance encounters, unexpected opportunities, Subtle shifts in your own behavior that bring results you once thought impossible. The danger lies in inconsistency. You plant seeds one night and uproot them with doubt the next. The growth remains stunted. That is why persistence matters. Even when nothing seems to change, continue. Even when the old reality screams louder, continue. Night after night, you are building an unseen foundation. Like a seed underground, the evidence comes last, not first. So remember this: your nightly ritual is not just a habit, construction of your future. Persist until your desire feels natural. Revise whenever doubt or negativity creeps in. And most importantly, as the one who already has it. When your inner assumption and outer actions agree, reality has no choice but to obey. The unseen becomes seen, how the imagined becomes experienced, and how your whispered request before sleep becomes the life you wake up to. As you lie down to sleep, you hold in your hands the most powerful moment of creation. You live in tomorrow is shaped not by the worries you carried through the day, but by the state you dared to embrace before surrendering to rest. Asking the universe is not about begging, not about pleading, and not about waiting. It is about assuming, embodying, feeling the reality of your desire as though it were already yours. You learned that the universe does not respond to words, but to states. Drowsy edge of sleep is the doorway where impressions are planted and become real. To ask is through a simple end, seen. Snapshot that proves the desire is fulfilled. That the senses and gratitude make it alive, letting go of the how, and when allows the unseen intelligence to bring it forth. And above all, that persistence, revision, and in daily life seal the process until it becomes your natural experience. So, tonight, when you close your eyes, do not carry regrets, fears, sacred place. Choose one scene, simple and final. Feel it. Thank you. As though the gift has already been placed in your hands. Drift into sleep as the person who already has it, weighs the person who expects it. Repeat this night after night until it feels as natural as breathing. The truth is, this is not outside of you. It is within you, responding faithfully to the state you choose. If you dare to assume, if you persist until it becomes your identity, you will see that the unseen bends to your inner world. You do not chase, you receive. You do not beg, you become. And when you become, the universe has no choice but to deliver.